Hello everybody, this is Tucker Miller here again, and tonight, like I said, for my next movie review, I'm gonna be reviewing on Shrek the Third. Came out in 2007. So, the plot of this movie is, this takes place right after where the second movie left off, and got Shrek, once again voiced by Mike Myers, and Fiona, who was once again voiced by Karen Diaz. And yeah. Then sadly, King Harold, who was once again voiced by John Creech, sadly passed away after he turned into a frog at the end of the second movie. So King Harold sadly passed away. So now Far Lane is without a king, and they have to find a new king. So, and they think that Shrek could be the new king, but Shrek really didn't want to be king. So Shrek decides to go on a quest with Puss in Boots, once again voiced by Antonio Banderas, and Donkey, who was once again voiced by Eddie Murphy. So yeah. So they're on this quest to find this guy named Artie, or Arthur, who was voiced by Justin Timberlake. So yeah. And then what Shrek found out that Fiona is pregnant, and Shrek realized he's gonna become a dad, but he's not excited at all for it, so yeah. And then we got Prince Charming, who wants to take over Far Away and put up a play to where he wants to kill Shrek, because for revenge of his death of his mother, the fairy godmother. So Prince Charming wants to get revenge on Shrek by killing him. So it's up to Shrek to find the new king for Far Away and stop Prince Charming, and that's basically what the plot is. Now, what do I have to say about Shrek the Third? Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I actually like Shrek the Third. That's right, I personally enjoy Shrek the Third. I know many of you guys said this is the worst out of all the Shreks, but I can agree with that. It is the weakest out of the series, but it's not a bad movie in my opinion. I just don't know why. I'll just say this. I used to watch the Shrek. I can say this again. If I say it once, I can say it again. I used to watch the Shrek movies a lot, all the time as a kid, including this movie. This one. So yeah, and also Shrek Forever After. I used to watch all 4 of the Shrek movies and all the time as a kid. And same thing with the spin-off Puss in Boots that came out in 2011, which I will review on that at some point, and I will definitely review on Shrek Forever After at some point too. So yeah, now back to Shrek the Third. So yeah, in my personal opinion, I enjoy Shrek the Third, but definitely not my favorite out of the Shrek films. Yeah, this is definitely the weakest out of the Shrek movies. So yeah. I enjoyed it despite not many people like it. But if you don't like this movie, I respect your opinion. So yeah. Used to watch this all the time as a kid. So I guess yeah. Yeah, now let's talk about the characters. Shrek is once again a great character, and I have to say, Mike Myers did once again a great job voicing him. So yeah, Mike Myers is a great actor. He's in a lot of great films. And we got and Donkey. Donkey is still a hilarious character. And yeah, and like I said, Donkey is always my favorite character from Shrek. So yeah, and I have to say Eddie Murphy did a great job voicing him. Puss in Boots. He's still a great character. And I have to say Antonio Banderas did a great job voicing him as once again. So yeah. And Princess Fiona, or Fiona, she's a great character once again. And I have to say, once again, Karen Diaz did a great job voicing her. So, yeah. Yeah, this is a really good... I think this is a great film. This is a pretty good sequel. But I have to say, not as good as the first two movies. The first two Shrek movies are the best. So, yeah. I do like this, even though not many people do. And Shrek Forever After was pretty good too. So, yeah. But I like Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After, but they're not as good as Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. So, yeah. The first Shrek movie is my favorite DreamWorks movie. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. I enjoy Shrek the Third. So, yeah, those are the characters I can think of. And oh, yeah, now let's go back to the characters. We're not done yet. And Arthur, or Artie, he's a great character. And I have to say, Justin Timberlake did a great job voicing him. And we all know, I do know that Justin Timberlake is in another DreamWorks film, which he was in the Trolls movies, which... honestly, not a big fan of Trolls, personally. So, yeah, I'll cover the Trolls movies for a review at some point. So, yeah. Yeah, but I think, even though I prefer Justin Timberlake as a singer, rather than an actor, I think he did a great job as Arthur in this film. So, yeah. And Merlin right here, he's a great character, but probably not as good as Merlin from Disney's The Sword and the Stone, which I'll probably review on The Sword and the Stone next year. When I review on all the Disney animated films, like I already stated before. So, yeah. And Arthur is a great character too, but again, not as good as Arthur from Disney's The Sword and the Stone. So, yeah. So, yeah. And the princesses, oh my, the princesses like Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty, they're great characters. And Rapunzel, and yeah, which Rapunzel betrayed Fiona and the other princesses and Queen William, who was once again voiced by Julie Andrews. And yeah, Rapunzel betrayed them and went and works with Prince Charming now. So yeah. And Captain Hook. Captain Hook is a great character, but I'll have to say probably not as good as Captain Hook from Disney's Peter Pan, which again I'll review on Peter Pan next year. So, yep. Three Little Pigs, they're great characters. So is Pinocchio. And yeah, and the Three Blind Knights, and yeah. Yeah, now, how about we talk about some scenes? Those are all the characters I can think of on top of my head. So yeah, let's talk about some scenes of this film. Oh, Shrek's nightmare about being a dad. Honestly, that was a hilarious scene. I would laugh at the scene where Shrek had a nightmare about being a father. And yeah. And yeah, dad. Oh god. God. That was just a funny scene. And is there any other scene I could think of? I don't know. I don't know any other scenes I could think of. Oh, the begin. Yeah, there's a lot of hilarious scenes. Just a lot of funny scenes in my opinion. Even though not many people think there's not funny scenes, but you know, I think there's a few funny scenes, but some scenes weren't funny, but some of the jokes weren't funny, but you know, I personally enjoyed Shrek. So yeah, Shrek's nightmare was a funny scene in my opinion, and yeah, and yeah, and so yeah, there's so many scenes I could that are so hilarious. Some funny scenes that I cannot even think of on top of my head. Yeah, so yeah, that's a great. So yeah, that's the only scene I can think of on top of my head. So yeah, there's some more scenes, but cannot think of any other scene right now. So yeah. Oh, actually, there's a scene I could talk about where Fiona, Queen William, and all the other princesses says what the battle scene where they trying to find Shrek. Oh, that was a really cool scene too. So yeah, well, yeah, that was a great scene. Scene where they had to get through the guards and everything. So yeah, that was a pretty good scene. Great scene. So yeah. Now I think that's like the only other scene I can think of on top of my head right now. So yeah, yeah, really enjoying great scenes. So yeah, is there anything else I can talk about Shrek the Third? What I have to say, this film does have a great. This film has a great soundtrack. Has some pretty good songs like like Royal Pain, with it and die, with it and wet died. When you know the song Royal Pain was the song you heard at the beginning, and with it with it with it and wet died. It is the song that you heard at the scene where they had King Harold's funeral. And yeah, Royal Pain is a great song, and With It and Wet Died is a great song too. So, yep, and Nine Crimes, which you know the scene where they walked up Shrek, and yeah, when the song Nine Crimes was heard when they walked up Shrek. So yeah, that was a sad scene too. And Nine Crimes is also a very sad song. So yeah, I really like the song Nine Crimes. So yeah, but very sad song, and that was another very sad scene too. So yeah, and the end credit song, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself. That's a great song. You know, it was sung by Donkey and Puss in Boots. So, yeah. Yeah. That was a great song, and yeah, this film does have a really good soundtrack. So yeah, Shrek the Third. The animation's good. I think it has a pretty good story, but does have a few flaws in there and there. Definitely the weakest out of the Shrek series. But still, I still find this to be an enjoyable film. And the front cover of the DVD says the best Shrek yet. Would I have to agree? Definitely not. But I'm not saying this is a bad movie like many people say it is. I'll say this. This is, like I said, definitely the weakest out of all the Shreks. But not a bad movie. But yeah. You know what's the best Shrek yet, in my opinion? The first movie that came out in 2001, which I already reviewed on that. So, yeah. The original Shrek is my favorite Shrek movie. And also my favorite DreamWorks movie. So, yeah. Yeah, Shrek the Third is definitely not the best Shrek, but is not terrible either. Like I said, not even though not meant So yeah. Yeah. Not a bad movie. Like I said, Shrek the Third is not a bad movie like many people say it is. But yeah. Like I said, if you don't like this movie, I respect your opinion. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and so yeah. This is not so yeah. This movie also came out, like I said, this movie came out in 2007, the same year as a Pixar film, which that would be Ratatouille. And I have to say, Ratatouille is way better than this movie. Again, not saying Shrek the Third is bad, but I think Ratatouille is the best animated film of 2007. That and probably second will have to be Disney's Meet the Robinsons, which I'll review on Meet the Robinsons next year, and I already reviewed on Ratatouille. So, yeah. This movie came out the same year as these movies. As this movie. Yeah. And no. If you guys ask, no, I did not saw this film in theaters. Even though when I was a kid, I used to watch Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 a lot. But I just didn't saw this one in theaters. And if I forgot to mention, I didn't saw Over the Hedge in theaters, and I did not saw Flushed Away in theaters. So, yeah, I did not saw any of those movies in theaters. So, yeah. I watched Shrek the Third when it first came out on DVD. So, yeah. Which this DVD, I want to say, this DVD also came out in 2007. The movie came out, I think the movie came out on May 18th, 2007, and not sure when the DVD came out. I want to say November of 2007. Yeah, I believe it's November 2007. So, yeah. Yeah, that's... So, yeah. That's all I can say about Shrek the Third. So, yeah. I'm gonna give Shrek the Third a 8 out of 10. This film does have a bit of flaws, has a few flaws, and is definitely not the greatest out of all the Shrek films. But hey, not saying it's bad like many people say it is. So, yeah. That's all I can say about Shrek the Third. I mean, not a bad movie like many people say it is, but definitely not as good as Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. So, Yeah. So anyways, that is it for my movie review on Shrek the Third. And stay tuned for my next movie review, which will be on B-Movie. But until then, see you in the next video. Bye.